This is an It Came From GenX video.
That Michael Jackson was born, and we talked about Michael here. Interesting career. From a childhood, he was famous. And then, of course, allegations, the monkey thing, the skin thing, the nose thing, the wife thing, the Lisa Marie Presley thing. It just goes on and on with him. He was a media outlook's dream. So, any thoughts about Michael Jackson, Fish?
Yeah, I mentioned him last week. We talked about our favorite Motown artists of all time, and he was my top. Just from a writing and performing and singing perspective. Just like I said last week, mega talent. You'll never see, and all the stuff you mentioned there too. Everything about him was just so unique.
Must see, yeah.
And go ahead.
It's still kind of. It's been longer than it seems, but it's still young for his death. With all the things I mentioned, there was the highs and there was the serious lows. How do you think he'll be remembered? Or revered, should I say? Will the allegations prevail, or that superstardom love that he had, will that prevail? What do you think?
I'd like to answer that.
He's always going to have that asterisk, you know what I'm saying? He's going to have he's going to be beloved from a performer. However, didn't he have some weird stuff with kids or something? And he also had weird stuff like his appearance and different stuff. He's just going to have all that stuff's going to be tied to him at some point. But if you sit down, but people, I'm sure, will still say, you know what? However, still fun, great music, and if you see him perform
or people
on video
who don't believe any of that stuff, period.
Oh, that's true too.
I don't believe any of it. Skinner?
It depends on what generation you ask.
Okay, interesting.
Our generation grew up with Michael Jackson. Even my parents' generation grew up with Michael Jackson. But the baby boomers prior to, my dad's 72 years old, so he's at the very end of the baby boomer age. They may look at him as being a creepo, a pedophile, not giving him any time of day. They didn't really pay attention to his music. They knew about him in Motown, but if you're not a Motown person, you didn't care. Our generation, we grew up, Michael Jackson was in the forefront. Everything in music back then, Michael Jackson was at the top. And he was at the top for quite a few years.
Yes.
When you get to the millennials, they may think differently. They may think more along the baby boomers because they weren't around.
A very important significance. There's the people who listened to Michael Jackson versus those that didn't listen. Because the majority of those that didn't listen are easily to think he was a creep and he did all these allegations. You're not a fan anyway, so it's easy. And it's harder for those that grew up with him, those that loved his music, to believe that he did all these things. So that's, I think, the big dividing line between the two.
Right.
All right.
Hey, Fish here from It Came From GenX with Skinner and Keith. For every like and subscribe, you may win a free 1-year subscription to the AARP.